Okay, everyone, Sky Temple ladies, we are back with a bit of in-house action here today. Current patch, as I said. So, as we're jumping into this, let's have a little bit of a look at it. Seems like we're gonna do a bit more streaming in the upcoming time, by the way, because Spain had currently the announcement that because of the coronavirus, there's a lot of stuff now shut down. For example, gyms are going to close starting tomorrow, so will restaurants and also bigger bars. And the Spanish military has apparently today started to also evacuate the beaches and make sure that just like all kinds of like big public gatherings are more or less suspended for the next 2 weeks roughly. Honestly, you couldn't tell if you just walked out on the street. It seems like just business is going on as usual, but they're of course going to try and flatten the curve a little bit to make sure that the virus is not going to hit the healthcare system here too hard. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time indoors or alone on the bike, depending. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Supermarkets are still fine, by the way, for everybody that's interested. You can still buy tons of food. The only thing that is missing is the toilet paper. So the toilet paper conspiracy is still going strong. I found out, by the way, that toilet paper is now sold on eBay for tons of money, and I personally am a huge favor of reintroducing public flogging and public beatings just in general into society for assholes that go to supermarkets, stock buy anything, if it's toilet paper or something else, and then try to make a quick buck with it on eBay. So I'm a big fan of just punishing those assholes publicly, and yeah, I would be first in line with either a rod or a whip, one of the two. Like, if you in a crisis like this are such a douchebag that you think of nothing else but making a quick buck and just stock buying shit at a supermarket and buying it away from old people and who else, then you are a despicable human being and you need to get the shit punished out of you. My personal opinion. But later on, I'm going to tell you how I really feel. The one thing that I feel is a little bit disappointing here is that the Vikings are actually banned out. That's a downer. Abathur gets banned too. Of course, we're on the newest patch, 49.4 right now. And just a quick note, Zul is actually banned. So Zul was banned out because there's some bug with his skeletons and the damage that they do, shit like that. So yeah, that's happening. And therefore we won't see him here today. We had him in, yeah, the other day, just in a few games. Lauber was experimenting with him a lot. Reyna gets still picked, but of course his damage on the level 1 on Ace in the Hole, for example, got slightly reduced and is now down to 10% instead of the 15% damage that he did previously. So there's that. Tyrael for Blade. Even though I don't really believe that Blade is going to play the hero, I think chances are that Masquerade is going to jump on it. I mean, Blade could play him on the side lane, but normally he is the off laner for whatever team he plays in. And guys, if you have no idea what this is, by the way, these are in-house matches of the top players in Heroes of the Storm that banded together because they're tired of the shit show that is called Storm League, aka the horrendous matchmaking that has now plagued this game for the last 5 years. So instead, they just banded together. It's like 50 players or so, and they are just mixing things up with their own matchmaking. You can jump into the YouTube video and actually look at the link that you find in the description. There's an in-house ranking that I'm linking into that so that you guys can get a bit of an idea of who's playing in there, how much they're playing, and I think they're also going to use a proper ranking into that. And also, if you are already in the description on the YouTube video, keep in mind that you can actually support the stream and the channel for absolutely free right now. If you check out the raid download link, download the game, play a 20-second tutorial which ends with a dragon fight. And if you don't like the game, you can simply uninstall it. And that will help me directly. It costs you a few minutes of your time, which you can do while you're watching the video, actually. And that's that. Don't have to pay anything for that. So perfect way to support a streamer here. Alright, Nick gets his Kerrigan again. We have seen the hero actually banned out tons of time against him now. For very good reason. I mean, the guy is a monster with it. Even in games or after games where he lost with Kerrigan, the opponent's team just always went like, fuck that, not again. We might have won the game, but it wasn't quite fun. Those combos are a little bit too much on the nose. So yeah, let's move out of that way. I'm still a bit salty looking at that Vikings ban. If there was any chance that Hazo actually goes for Vikings again, even if it's just for the good old days to give all of us a little trip down memory lane, then I'm totally in favor of that. And yeah, so that is not a ban that I can endorse here. But we have Sonya played, Dequaza most likely on it. Also Garrosh on the opponent's side now. Rexa is in, so is Jaina. And what do we get as the last pick? What is Galdagulna? jumping on right now. Actually, I think they're shifting heroes around in the swap round. So they still need a bit of damage dealer. I mean, in theory, they could still go triple melee. You already have Sonya, which does good damage at the front line. You pick another one, and you can do the same thing. But another damage dealer from afar would also be a pretty good asset to the team here. And it is Mephisto! Alrighty, Mephisto comes in, and with that we are set for our game. Sky Temple is the map, so without further ado, let's jump in and see which team takes the victory here. Game on! Sky Temple is the map, and we are in it to win it. Gulnar on Malfurion, Hazops on Reyna for the blue team, Rag on Garrosh, Gia on Mephisto, and Dequaza is playing Sonya at this point. Over to the right side of the map, the red team with Blade on Rexa, we have Ruchu on Jaina, Masquerade on Tyrael, Banana H on Rhaegar, and Kerrigan, played by good old Nikki over here. So, should be a fun one. Kerrigan together with Tyrael is always kind of neat, as I explained a few times already, because you have a hero that supplies Kerrigan with a shield, you have a sanctification that you can use in the fights, and just anybody that can really jump in together with her, cause a little bit more chaos and target a specific hero, is pretty much amazing. So that's what we're going to see here quite a bit. The one note that I also wanted to quickly point out is that we actually don't have any kind of global heroes here that could try and capitalize on macro aspects of the game. There's no Dehaka, no False that we have in this. Of course, Deathwing was banned out as well, so there's a couple of aspects to it. But another thing that we've actually seen a few times now is that Exterminator was now picked on level 1 outside of Battlefield of Eternity. The talent has actually an interesting history. So when it initially was brought in, together with Ace in the Hole, there was a couple of players that experimented with it, pretty much decided the talent was shit and didn't play it. Then people were like, yeah, maybe on Battlefield of Eternity we can play with it, and the same thing happened there. People tried it a bit, realized that they just don't have enough damage anymore in team fights, and that it was just not worth the trade-off, so they just simply ignored the talent completely, and therefore Ace in the Hole became the only talent to be played. Then Blizzard changed things and buffed not only Ace in the Hole but also Exterminator, and all of a sudden you saw Exterminator taken on Battlefield of Eternity because now it was worth the trade-off and he did so much damage to the objective that it became actually a really cool tool to have in your arsenal. And it was still the only map where it was played, Battlefield of Eternity. But now, since we actually saw Blizzard nerf Ace in the Hole, we've seen now a few times Hazops and other players start to go for Exterminator on other maps too. So it's not necessarily something that is going to make it into actual, oh, there we go, first blood, into actually coordinated plays, but it might be also something that we're going to observe more in team battles where actual 5-man teams go up against each other. So definitely something to take note of and to pay a little bit more closer attention to. Because obviously when you're looking at these in-house matches, when you're looking at top players playing Storm League, then it's always a bit of a testing ground as well to just see, hey, what works after a new patch, what can I play around with, which hero is still good for picking, did another hero maybe get buffed enough that it's worth to pay a little bit more attention to him, and so on and so forth. So we're actually going to see how that is going to work out. But Blizzard nerfing Ace in the Hole with a 5%, that's definitely something that has hurt the talent a lot in comparison to others. And that's actually a thing that Blizzard tends to do a little bit lately. I like the approach that they now seem to have, where they, I said this actually after HGC, where they buff talents just a little bit by just raising the numbers a bit or reducing them. That's something that the HGC pros back in the days actually wanted from them all the time, and they completely ignored that feedback, up to the point where HGC was then completely destroyed by Blizzard, and all of a sudden the balance team was like, by the way, these guys had some ideas. Now that the entire competitive scene is dead, let's try those. And they're actually a little bit better, but they still have these things every now and then where they're going completely overboard. I mean, the change on the Zebo, for example, with Thing of the Deep was one of those, where they buffed the damage by 20%, which was, of course, fucking ridiculous. And the only thing that was funnier than the development team not realizing how insanely OP they made that talent were the idiots that played Storm League and didn't realize how strong it was, were actually bitching at people that picked it. So those two things are probably the funniest thing to happen there. But yeah, they make a couple of these nerfs and buffs that kind of show that the development team doesn't play their own game anymore. Or at least doesn't pay any attention to the stronger regions that exist within the game. But I mean, enough of the tirade here. So now that we have the first objectives up, we have pretty much shared control of the two temples. I mean, they're fighting actually over both of them. Rek is in a bit of trouble over here, but topside Sonya is also fighting it out with Rexa and Misha. And that is another hero that has, of course, been touched in the patch a little bit. So Misha is now a little bit less tanky than before, whereas Rexa does a bit more damage. So the focus on the hero shifted a bit from Misha towards Rexa. But Blade is gonna die regardless here. So Blade goes down, and at this point we have also Masquerade in slight trouble, but he could still make it out, and he does. But Malfurion got eliminated in the meantime. Kerrigan at the bottom of the map is also threatening Hazorps a little bit and keeping him at bay. But we have now a slight lead in experience for the red team, as they are also looking to steal away the opponent's Siege Giant camp. So there's the move right there, together for it. Can steal that easy peasy. There's not enough heroes around for the blue team to change that fact. Slightly too late for that. Yeah, but Nick is currently slowly doing his thing here still. Needs to be careful though. Walks away from Garrosh. If Rek is able to cut his path of retreat off, then he can't throw him back in. And that might be the end of Kerrigan, no matter how much she can hop around here. So both of the Siege Giant camps get taken by the red team, and that's a really neat move, because it forced the reaction out of the blue team, took experience away from them, and that's a pretty solid setup here for now. Now, at the same time, there's a flip against Tyrael. He obviously doesn't really care too much. I mean, he can always jump out. He has that mobility for it. And there's the level 10 abilities now. Ancestral Healing. We have Sanctification again. Kerrigan going straight up for the Ultralist and the additional stun. And talking about stuns, we see a little bit of that at the top. But so far, Sonya seems to still be fine. Kerrigan wasn't at the bottom of the map as they're trying to get a bit more aggressive. So there's no stun comp that can be set up. But level 10 abilities are now ready for both teams. There is surely an advantage for the red team, though, when it comes to the objective, now that they opened all of this up. Sonya with the Wrath of the Berserker. A little bit of action against Gia here up at the top. And we have him also with the Durance of Hate right here. So setup that can definitely allow them to follow up on anything. Talking about follow-up, Rek is actually being followed up on. And there's a potential kill. Kerrigan wants it, jumps in again. Nice Twilight Dream from Malfurion, but the fight isn't over by any means. Nick is running out of mana, so that's a problem. Sanctification is saving him. Problem is that Rek is about to go down, but gets his hit points back, but he's still not out of harm's way and gets eliminated. Tyrael gets thrown out, so Rhaegar, the self-ancestral. Nicely done by him. But here comes the explosion on Tyrael as he gets some value. Explodes straight onto this. The problem is that Rexa is now alone at the top of the map, and as you can already tell, that means a lot of secure damage against the fort. There's a big trade that the blue team went for now. They rotated their heroes to the bottom of the map to fight this fight, and they traded a kill for a kill. But they also, while they take the temple shots, are sacrificing their top fort. So that is a bit of a problem, especially since Rexa does also give them additional experience and doesn't actually give a shit about that bot lane fight. He just moves in towards the keep now. Kerrigan goes down though, so that's 3 kills against 3 now. And it's a very interesting dynamic that we see now. So he escorts all of this in. Jimmy already Hearthstone back, so he's going to come back in here. On the other hand, Banana H, yeah, tries to jump out. The doggy in trouble, and he gets away. Also helped out by Masquerade a little bit, so that definitely was good. And here we go. Setting all of this up, trying to get another hit in. Sonya is still getting all of the shots at the bottom, secures the final ones, but the fort doesn't fall. Who falls, though, is Malfurion. So, the old geezer's taken down here. 4 kills against 3 now. And they're actually making a play for the boss? Wait, what? Wow. That is ballsy. Yeah, they try to force the fight with that, and they definitely can. Chrysalis is in, can now be cancelled since the recent patch. It's more like an ice block. Sanctification, and Hazorps taken down mid-flight. Rek was trying to save him, but couldn't. So now we have the Siege Giants locked in. They get the double kill against Reyna and Garrosh. And that is looking pretty nasty now. Blue team definitely has a bit of a problem. And the red team is just continuing where they left off. They're going straight up for the boss, but I don't think they're going to continue with this. The problem is that now they don't have the sanctification anymore. And without it, you are going to be more hesitant around that boss spot. Especially if your opponent might just be able to buy enough time for those 2 dead heroes to come back into it. since of course the game hasn't been going for that long, meaning the death timers are still rather low. 21,000 damage for Sonya though. Slam wham bam. Good old Sonya is doing tons of work here, but they're still behind 3 kills. 15,000 damage for Jaina doesn't seem like a lot, but if you focus all that damage on a single target, then that's a very different story. Coordinated effort. That's what we're looking at here. Gia also, Durance of Hate set up. That could actually lead to a kill, but it's Mephisto that dies. Yes, there we go. So much hatred. But, yep, Mephisto is already down. Here comes also the completed quest for Jaina, so that's a neat one. Ultralisk and Water Elemental are both out, so it's mass summonings that we're looking at all of a sudden. And another fort eliminated. And if you played Sky Temple in the past, then you obviously know that this is a fantastic map if you can take down a few of those structures. And that's exactly what the red team is doing, taking one fort apart after another, dropping a tower here, dropping a tower there. And that is not only giving them a lead in experience, but it's also leading to them having just way more value possible out of a simple temple. And now that they're grabbing the one at the bottom of the map, not only will the fort in the middle fall, but we're soon also going to see those keeps attacked. So with this, 16 is a possibility any second now. They're going for a 1-for-1 trade, and this is the problem for the blue team now. They can't trade 1-for-1 for much longer. It's not a good trade for them as is already, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So now that we have a few more shots fired here in the middle, the shots actually go up to the top and at the bottom, which means that the bottom fort will still hold strong. Karrigan is already pushing another minion wave out, so that is going to help to push those walls even further. And that's a potential fight, since there's a slowdown. Combo! Indomitable! And the flip into the back. Chrysalis already being used. The doggy is there and needs the Ancestral. Silence for a second. Ancestral doesn't come through. There's the shield for Karrigan, and she actually survives. And pulls Hazo too. Triple kill, ladies. Make it a quad kill. That's a 5-man wipe right there. 5-man wipe. And now the opportunity to move through the middle of the map, to take this wall down, drop the structures, maybe even go for the keep itself. They have Misha here, can drop the summonings of course as well, or already have, and that is just bad news for the blue team. Losing structures all over the place, and as we just said, if you are losing those, you are losing your ability to trade towers with your opponent. The keep is down, the wall is falling, and that was incredibly well done. Nick in particular, surviving through all of this and then turning it around with a kill against Reyna. Spectacular. So we have on level 13, by the way, the Shard of Hate. I mean, I would also be a little bit hateful if this was happening here to me. But there's a few more shots fired. Big wave top, by the way. Whew. Someone needs to deal with this shit. So far, Sonya is making her way over there. Slowly but steadily, but as I said before, every single damage point here matters, and that is a lot. That's a lot of potential tower shots later that this wall cannot absorb anymore. And that might sound like nitpicking, like a small thing, but honestly, this matters. It really starts to accumulate over time, and it's going to become a big problem. With only 2 keeps left, that means that if you get a few more temples activated in your favor, you're easily going to drop those 2 and then go for the core through objectives directly. Not even talking about boss, or for example catapults that push the lane out. That's just too much. So taking a closer look, now that we have 16 versus 16 talents, as you can see over here onto the damage, 27,000. Nick again with a combo. And if you ever wonder why Karrigan gets banned when Nick is in a game, then I think now you have your answer. Down goes Mephisto, and they're coming in for the next kill against Gul'dan and Quasar. Malfurion and Sonya are both dead. Nick is already looking for another kill. Can he get in range? Yeah, not quite, but they are going straight in through the middle. They want to go for the end. They want to go for the core here. And Nick is crushing again. His Karrigan is an absolute monster, and it sets himself up for another kill. Hazops is alone. They're diving into the keep. There's no way for him to escape. Jimmy is gonna fall. And that's that. Game is over. I don't really think that Mephisto, when he comes back, is gonna be able to feel the defense. So this is it. 17 kills against 3, and it's pretty much the one-man Karrigan show with a lot of damage output behind her to follow up on the stuns, but a very, very nice performance here by the red team, in Nick in particular. GG, yeah, well played. Okay, boys, let's go. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Yeah, a bit more in-house action now. So let's check this puppy out. After Nick in one of the previous games just absolutely dismantled the opponents with Carrigan, I'm pretty sure that Carrigan... Like, I am gonna bet whatever you guys want that Carrigan is gonna be banned out here. There is just no doubt in my mind whatsoever that we are gonna look at a Carrigan ban in the first 2 ban rotations. 100%. I honestly don't know what to bet you guys, but yeah, so that would be a thing. I mean, it's two of the Spider Queens. Outside of that, Deathwing is still a hero that you expect to be banned out. I would assume that we're also going to... I mean, again, with the other heroes, it's always a bit of a playstyle question. But Wave Clear is going to be prioritized. Again, in the picks, which means Johanna, for example, can be a good one. As I previously mentioned, Zul is actually banned now. He is a little bit bugged. His skeletons apparently do a bit too much damage and stuff. There's some bug with it, so he's banned out for now with the in-house rules. Check out the YouTube description if you want to know more about the in-house ranking and the rules they currently have here. There's a link to one of the Google Docs that X-Ray is actually using. There's a Carrigan ban. So yeah, all hail to X-Ray for putting the work in and doing all of that. But, well, let's see. Carrigan is banned, and do we see the Deathwing ban, or do they actually let Deathwing get through here? That happened, yeah, they do. Tigers is banned instead, so alright, Deathwing is open. Now, the other day, we've actually seen Deathwing played once, and as usual, he won the game. So, is that gonna change here? Nope, Deathwing insta-pick. Insta-pick. Good tint for the skin as well, so we don't see the plucked chicken, but the immediate counter. I mean, if you let Deathwing through in Europe, you know he's going to be first picked, so the reaction is instantaneous. We have Greymane and Leo picked against him, which means, of course, Cursed Bullet, and in addition to that, we also have the Continuous Drain. So it's all about the attempt to just burn him down. Yeah, let's see. I mean... can they actually control him? Yes or no? That's the question. Nick is on the team. We have Gia on the team too. Okay, here comes Johanna, as expected, for wave clear. And also Rexa is still a thing, despite the small adjustment to the hero, which has nerfed Misha now. Which is only fair. Rexa was a little bit mad because he felt he wasn't really the big deal in the combo anymore. And I would still argue that he don't necessarily is. But at least now he's also a little bit useful. It's not only about Misha, so there's that. Okay. Hanzo gets banned. And what else are we gonna get? What's the final ban on the other side? I mean, they can still ban the healer, for example. Could also ban out one of the main tanks that they don't want to go up against. They already picked their front line, so that's a good target-rich environment here. Against someone like Masquerade. I would really like to see Dibbles on this map. I love a good Diablo player, and Masquerade is actually really solid on it, and this is a decent map. But, yeah, not really the top hero these days on Tomb of the Spider Queen. More so something that you occasionally see on Infernal Shrines. But, yeah, wouldn't mind it at all. Would be kind of fun. So, let's have a look. Jaina gets banned. So there's that. No burst damage on that end, which obviously is also a lot of the wave clear that can be supplied. Gul'dan would be a follow-up if you want to go for it. That's something that we could still see from someone like Hazu, but Hazu plays a lot of Rexa, and since they are already looking at this, chances are that he's going to stay with him. Blade will be playing Deathwing, very likely. Blaze as the main tank, so definitely possible since the jet propulsion changes. And that also means that with the wave clear, he can now assist Leo and Greymane to just clean these lanes out. The final 2 picks on the other side are going to give us not only the support, but we're also going to see the range damage dealer, which we haven't seen yet. Ana has been banned because Banana is playing on the other side, so that makes sense too. With Malfurion picked. Vala. Do we get Oriel? Or what do we have? Rhaegar. Lightning Shield. Okay. There we go. It's a cool setup. I like it. Deathwing, just in general in the European scene, is pretty rare. In tournament games, we more or less never see him, but in these in-house matches, occasionally he sneaks through the draft. And Nick is playing Coffin Girl. There we go. By the way, do you know what's in the coffin of Orphea? HGC. Exactly. Too soon? My apologies. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's jump in and check out another European in-house game on the top level. Let's head straight into it. Let's go! Tomb of the Spider Queen! On the left side, Dayquaza on Leoric, ghosting around here with the Skeleton King. Nick on Orphea, Coffin Girl is gonna be ready to hammer it out. Gia on Greyman, Masquerade on Blaze, and Galne Gulnar on Malfurion. And at the same time, we have for the red team, Hazops on Rexa, Rak on Vala, Banana H on Rega, Koro on Johanna, and Blade on Deathwing. Okay, another Deathwing game. Impeccable win record in Europe. I honestly don't know if I've ever seen Deathwing actually lose in a European match on the high level. Well, I think I've seen one or two probably, but his win rate in the high-level play in Europe is absolutely ridiculous. Blizzard has nerfed the hero now how many times? 3 times, I think. And at least in other regions, they seem to not really have the success that Europe has with the hero, but over here it's just absolutely nuts. So, well, here we go. At this point, we have top side. There's our little attack already happening out. Blade with a pretty decent tin tier 2. Rexa and Leo are all the way down at the bottom of the map. Pretty much a lot of free healing for Leo, since he is always going to be able to go for Misha with the Drain. But the rotation is here in the mid and top of the map. And that's where our little early game skirmishes are going to take place for now. And it's kind of funny, actually, to see Orphea in this game, and especially Nick playing her, so that's going to be fun. On level 1, on point, with the Shadow Waltz. And Blade is already trying to get away here. But yeah, the Shadow Waltz action, just like slap, slap, slap all game long. It's a little bit of the aggressive version of Slabitha. Level 1 talent, by the way, with the Draconic Might now for Deathwing, what we have for Blade. And yeah, Blade is sitting topside at this point. Vala obviously going for a multi-shot build on this map, so that doesn't really come as a shock. Camp is also taken from both teams, but a little bit later secured by the blue team. The red team is already moving it through. And off we go. Let's have a bit of a checkup. Yes, the towers are going to help for sure with this thing here. And yeah, let's see how this is going to go for them. There's already the jump in for Misha. She's trying to stun people out again. Masquerade is in the thick of things here. Yep, so far, of course, without the bunker. We're not on level 10 yet. Level 4 abilities are getting picked very quickly with hotkey combinations. And in this case, we have Infernus. And actually, we're looking at Conviction. Alright, Johanna, not with the Eternal Retaliation, which is pretty much the standard these days on JoJo. But instead, we have a bit of movement speed. Easier to move out of a fight, easier to also engage and set something up. Force the engagement. On level 4 for Orphea, we now have the Allegrissimo. Everything that sounds Italian these days, it's already something that just has me worried. Italy being locked down completely. I mean, who knows what's in that coffin? I suspect it's HEC, but it might be another version of the coronavirus. If we're talking about Italy right now, you can't trust these people. Every Italian is immediately suspect. At least if it was in Italy recently. Yeah, obviously kidding here. But yeah, with 5 kills, level 5 against level 5, we still have 0 kills in the game. Multi-shot build is continuing. Blade at the top, already attacked right there, and that's the end of Deadwing. Yeah, Deadwing dead. Here comes the little pony, and at least a couple of the gems have been recovered. Rag has a 10 at this point, and down here, Dayquaza's already sitting there, getting interrupted by Misha once again. Dutiful Misha, absolutely fantastic. Okay, so what else is happening? Nick is getting pushed back a little bit here. And it's quite a few gems that the blue team was already able to turn in. I like the way that they're actually playing around all of that percentage damage right now. I want to see if that's going to be successful against Deathwing here in the long run. But this is definitely going to be an interesting series, to say the least. So now with level 7 in their hands, there's a slight advantage for the blue team that they could, in theory, use to get their turn in. Deathwing comes in, dropping in today and trying to do his thing, as at the same time Masquerade is in slight trouble. Blaze needs to be careful. Good condemn from Johanna, keeping them all in play, but Banana H is low, and there's the slap. Even a bit of a B-step happening as Greyman comes in and says like, hey, how you doing? So now with level 7 talents on both sides, it's going to be an even fight again from here on out, but still the kill is there. That's 2 kills against 0 in favor of the blue team. And can they turn in? That's the bigger question. Also, different talent choice now for Deathwing. No Skyfall. Instead, it's the Death Drop. Alrighty. Blade with the Molten Flame. Burning the wave down. Turn-ins already happened. That's 9 gems that are missing for the first Webweaver wave. So let's see if they actually have those. And at this point, still the attempt to get that turn-in completed. Maybe set another kill up as this skirmish starts again. Quasar has 25 gems. He would love to turn in now. Especially since he's Leo. I mean, you really want to trade Leo in a fight, or at least have the option to trade him. That can always be nice if you go for a kill there. But with 25 gems, that's something that you definitely don't want to do. If Nick can turn in, for example, would be nice too. He's trying to Shadow Waltz away here, but actually nearly self-stunned himself there. Okay, good lockdown against Koro, and that's a kill! 19 gems down. Rhaegar's trying to get them, but he can't really. And even ventured out so far that he nearly died too. So that's 19 gems already lost. And that's a great setup now for the blue team. Not only do they have the first Webweaver wave, it will coincident with level 10, which is amazing for them. It's going to be a great push. And they have 3 kills to 0. So that is quite solid now. That's actually a really, really nice setup for them at this point. That they can definitely use to not only push the opponent back, but also do a ton of damage now to those outer defenses. And maybe even take a fort down. With level 10, I mean, hell yeah, you already have the setup around Leo, who can just trap someone with a quick entomb. At the bot lane, together with Greymane, he could definitely make that play. Also, the Eternal Feast, chomp, 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 chomp. So we're gonna see that action. Yeah, look at this. He's already proxying the wave in the back. Spray game is on point as well. Raxa needs to be careful. The fort is definitely toast. Nothing they can do here. Topside gets defended by Deathwing, and in the middle another wall falls. That level 10 and the timing of it has changed absolutely everything here. That was glorious. It doesn't get any better than that. The opponent still doesn't have their heroics, so we're gonna see a second fort fall. I mean, this is pretty much as good as it gets. Oh, and the kill! They go for Rack, and that's a Vala kill right there. Banana Age is also isolated, and that is the second kill. In comes Deathwing. Yeah, needs to be very careful that it doesn't turn into Deadwing immediately again, because they was a bit isolated there. Masquerade jumping in a bit deep, so he needs to be careful too. They might overstay a little bit here, especially the Quasar is not allowed to die. He has 40 gems by now, so he's really pushing this even further. But they are taking even more now down here in the middle. Oh! And the Quasar just fucked up. Good job, bro. Yes, that's exactly how you're not gonna do it. Yeah, 40 gems. Yeah, doesn't matter. What do you need gems for? I'm dead already. I want to ghost around here. So yeah, horrible. that was pretty bad. That was really pretty bad. That was really one of those things where it's just like, yeah, fuck it. We're way too far ahead anyways. So they lose 40 gems thanks to that little move. I think the team is probably very happy about that. Not. And yeah, now with 5 kills against 2, there is actually a chance that the red team makes a recovery. They're still behind, of course. But that kill gave them not only a lot of experience because of the underdeck bonus, it also, of course, gave them a little bit of map control that they now hold. And it's their ticket back into this. They still hold 76 gems. They have only turned in 5 so far in this entire game, but they still have enough to get a turn in. And despite the fact that they lost 2 of their forts, there's a chance that they theoretically can make it into a decent position again. 40,000 damage for Nick. On Ophir. 31,000 for Vala. But that was a little bit of a brain fart moment, for sure. So the Quasar, he needs to redeem himself right now. Good Entomb could do exactly that. Well, there's already one. Internal Feast as the combo, and Koro should actually die here. Yeah, there's the kill. The Ancestral was just a bit late. There's gems now lost on both sides. Question is just how many. So far, they're still retaining a lot, especially since Blade and Hazuabs are holding most of them. Oh, trying to get the kill here against Vala as well. But Rack, oh my god, makes it out. That was a clutch one, though. The cocktail attempt of GS. He's trying to see if he can maybe get close enough to drop Vala. But Rack went all the way down to the keep in order to stay alive, which was a good move, since this could have been the end. Also, on level 13 now, Revitalize. taken right away here. A little bit more mana for him himself, ability cooldown, so the extra sustain for him. But of course there's a bit more happening on the map, since the boss is currently getting attacked. Yeah, with one hero down and a talent advantage, they decided to go for the boss to set this up. The Quasar and Masquerade are still zoning them out here. Those are the only two that show on the map, and the boss is going to be taken successfully. Yeah, Greymane and Nick are making the play, so now they can go through the top. Blade actually gets locked down through the Entomb for a moment and eats a lot of damage. Couldn't kill him, but still. Tempered by Discipline as a level 13 talent. A little bit of a weird choice with this, to be absolutely honest here with you. So, not quite sure if I really like that too much, but Rack apparently seems to think that he's going to be able to sustain himself a little bit better in those fights through the auto attacks, which might actually be true, we'll see. Strafe is in. Koro nearly dying again. But yes, top side, the fort is about to go down. The only defender is Deathwing. Nobody else is sitting there, so there's that. The boss is going to make it towards the wall. Is even going to do a bit more damage here, but the rest of the blue team has already invaded the bruiser camp. At the bottom right. And trying to do his thing over here with another attempt to lock this one down. And maybe even push towards the keep in the middle. Oh, Hazu! If that jet propulsion hits him, he's in trouble. 46 gems, can't die. Don't pull it a Quasar. Ah, pulling it a Quasar in that situation would be bad. Raka! He's down. Nice combo. Good move by Leo, and then the Eternal Feast follow-up right afterwards. Hazop still fighting, but Misha goes down. They're trying to make the play for Koro again. Super low. Not the only thing that's low here. Blade is also taking a beating, and that is Deadwing once again. 9 kills against 2. Yeah, this is looking worse and worse and worse by the minute for the red team. They're losing way too much here. It seems like they're gonna close Rexa as well. That's 45 gems. Yes, and Koro can't even move in to recover them. Guys, they only turned in 5 gems throughout the entire game. 5-man wipe attempt even. B-steps everywhere. Wala is back. Keep is falling. They have 0 gems that they're holding right now. The red team, that is, because they lost everyone. And now it's 12 kills to 2. And in the entire game, they only turned in 5. In total. Everybody pressing the R button, as this one's only for the gallery. The shields are already gone, and they're trying to make the play for the core here. A bit of memeing around in this instance. 69 gems in their hands. They gotta be a little bit careful, though. If they honestly don't go for the core right now, they're not gonna be able to take it. Yeah, they need to be a bit more cautious with this, because, okay, they take Deathwind down again. But, yeah. Here we go. Koro also low. There comes the strafe attempt on the other hand. Core is down to 73%. Leo is dead. Gia is looking for the next kill. Doesn't get it immediately. Johanna barely survives. Orphea is down. Yeah, too many memes, ladies. Memeing around a bit too much here. They're now all of a sudden attempting to go finally for the core, but I don't know if they can actually pull it off. 31. There's the bunker. 27. Nope, 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 nope. Masquerade with 39 in the corner. They're going to lose all the gems that they had. And now it's 13 kills against 7 with 24% on the core. I mean, no doubt, a lot of memeing was involved here. Take Quasar! You're just simply saying here, say like, fuck it. Fuck it. 11%, and he's just gonna stay at the core, isn't he? That motherfucker! Oh, just going for the backdoor, saying like, guys, I got this. Yeah, those are the Leo plays that I've seen in my quick matches in my Storm League. This is exactly the value right here. But yeah, of course, big meme amount that we currently have. The shield is now regenerating a bit too quickly, so the Quasar won't be able to really do anything. But the attempt alone already honors him. But still, the red team hasn't really given up on this. They'll know, of course, that they could have lost the game already if the blue team would have just focused a little bit more on the core. But you have to understand, there's obviously also a lot of funning around involved in those in-house games. So that's definitely true too. Question is simply, can they fight back from this position here? Blade is already moving away after getting into, but the fight still continues. Eternal Feast is in. Nick! Yeah, needs to be very careful and eats the arrow, but he's not going to die to this. Tries to enter the Tranquility, and Malfurion just simply runs away. Orphea feeling trolled for sure at this point. That's the next setup as they're trying to go for another kill. Blade in particular is low and would be a nice target, and they get him! Blade goes down, and especially with the Drain build that we see from Leo. I mean, he went into Unyielding Despair and Crushing Hope. So that is a lot of damage that Leo can do against Deathwing if he gets the full duration through. 80,000 damage for Afia, 76,000 for Vala, and now they're about to finish what they started. Starting to go in again to take the core down. Shields are there, 11%. Yeah, that's a nice one. Good Entomb and the follow-up. Malfurion with the perfect root. Triple kill. Counting Misha here, of course, as we always should. Hazorps gets also attacked, and they're just diving. They're just diving. There's like, guys, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Feigning his death here for a time. Successfully, at least that is. That keep is going to take down one of the heroes. Masquerade is going to fall. Or is he? Maybe someone else. There's a stun, and they get Rhaegar. And they all survive. We have level 20 now as well. Blade is back, but oh god, these guys are having a bunch of fun here. Yeah, this is gonna work well. I mean, keep in mind, all of these boys are currently also testing, of course, for the playoffs. Which in this case, Division S playoffs, of course, are gonna happen tomorrow. Deathwing gets deaded again. I mean, he is just punching well in this game. Look at the 20 for Leo. He actually went into the Burning Despair now too, but that's the end of the core, and that is game! As Tomb of the Spider Queen ends in favor of the blue team, taking down Deathwing and team. Alright, let's go! Alterac Pass, in-house, action once again. Let's have a bit of a look at this. Bigger map, we have Koro in action again. Nick and Hazu are playing on the same team for this one. And especially with Nick, that Carrigan ban is gonna come in just a second, isn't it? Yes, it's honestly kind of funny. You have a couple of players in Europe right now that have absolute trademark heroes that you will see banned most of the time whenever they enter a game. I mean, with DAB and the boys in 2019, it was obviously always Tracer and a few others, but with Nick, it's Carrigan, with Dino and Tai, it's Zeratul. That hasn't really changed, and Hazorps had a few of those as well, maybe not to the same extent, but there's a reason that occasionally Vikings are still being banned out against his team, and that's also true for Sergeant Hammer. Don't give the Germans the tanks, you know what happens. So Deathwing gets banned. Tyrell is also eliminated. Quite quickly, I might add. And let's have a look. What else are we gonna get here? I would still assume that Carrigan gets banned. I mean, bigger map, of course. There's a little bit more to that, but still. Yep, there she is. The Queen of Blades. What is Nick then? Is Nick the King of Blades? Is that how it works? So the King of Blades does not get his queen this time. He's actually the captain, so he actually drafted. Okay, so we'll see that. Alright, last pick. What do we have? Last ban, sorry. We're not on last pick just yet. That would be a little bit too quick. But yeah, what can you ban out there? Ana ban, maybe? I mean, you have Banana H on the other side, so Ana would be a decent ban. They're banning Mephisto, which is also not really that bad of a choice, considering the previous games, where we've seen Mephisto now played a lot more than only by Macke, which was the initial trend. So, not here. That means that Ana is open. Ana is open for Banana, and you know what happens. If Banana wants Ana, Banana gets Ana, so yeah. And if Ana wants Banana, she gets it too. So, first double pick on the red team side. What do we get over here? So, we could actually go straight into a little bit of mage damage first of all, but I guess we're gonna see the support as well. Maybe Malfurion early lock in again for them. And also frontline, get the tank in there. Ooh, I like it. Very different variation. Okay, I'm game. Nick on Vala, and we have Abathar. Yes. Slabathar is in the game, ladies. I'm ready for the slap, baby. I'm still a big fan of the idea that we introduce a new third heroic ability to Abathar, and we call it the bitch slap. And what happens is, if you tunnel behind a hero and you slap from behind the hero, you insta-kill that hero. That would make it for a completely different way of playing Abathar. And you could also have just so much more meta there. You could go into Medivh Abathar, you portal the slug behind the opponent, you bitch slap around a little bit, and then you just run before you get killed. And there's so many possibilities there. It's absolutely fantastic. You combo off Garrosh with Abathar, you throw the slug behind the opponent, and then the slug just bitch slaps everybody. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's a great idea. I had it for a long time right now. I talked about it a few times. Blizzard, again, I'm telling you once more, you can introduce it for free. Solid advice right there. That's how we balance the game. That's how we make the game interesting. The more slug, the better. It's the obvious truth. So, Inubura gets banned, but Abby is in, and yeah, I'm a little bit hyped for this. This is going to be good. I mean, in theory, you could also have Combat Greymane together with that, but so far we haven't really seen that. So let's see what else we're going to get with Abathur. Zeratul gets banned. I mean, that makes sense. We've seen a lot of Abathur Zeratul combos when Tai or Dino played, and those are just terrifying, to say the least. So, yeah. Let's get the next double pick in. Yeah, with Abathur has definitely now changed this all a little bit. I mean, there's so much more fun. If you could go for Muradin right now. Muradin with given the action and Abathur slow is also pretty fantastic. It's a lot of fun as well. But you want to have, of course, something that you can... Yeah! They actually do it. Nice. Urel too. So now you have Urel with the symbiote. You have Muradin with the symbiote. If you have the double goat later, you can go for the double jump. Okay, this is funny. This is good already. This is amazing. Alterac Pass. I mean, I have no idea how this is going to end, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, off we go. Blade on Urel. Muradin played by Masquerade. On the other side now, though, what else do we get? There's the ETC pick. And Kira. Alright, straight from Wakanda. We have Blade Girl in the game. And the last pick. Still need a bit of a support, I assume, what it's going to be. Koro is likely going to walk away, maybe with the frontline hero there later, once that they actually switch heroes up, but let's see. Last pick. Let's go. Lucio! Yeah, Lucio with the Abathur can be pretty terrifying too. Alterac Pass, everybody! Let's jump into the game right away. Alrighty, let's go! Alterac Pass, everybody! Off we go with this. At this point, we have on the left side the blue team with Galnegulna on ETC, Banana on Ana, Dequaza on Rexa, G on Kira, and Rag on Li Ming. On the right side of the map, this is where the fun really starts. Blade on Urel, Koro on Lucio, Masquerade on Muradin, Nick on Vala, and Hazuops on Abathur. So yeah, this is actually going to be a real fun one. Abathur matches are usually kind of entertaining. I mean, there's so many different variations of what we have, but it will be exciting to say the least. There's a lot of good targets on the red team side for the symbiote, and even for the copy, we have quite a target-rich environment. But yeah, Hazops slugging it up right now. Honestly, Abathur is one of the heroes that is probably the most innovative that Blizzard ever designed. And he was always an interesting hero to begin with, because especially on the pleb level, people never understood how good that hero is. So if you are playing in Plastic or Wood League, people just don't know how to play Abathur, and it's honestly just terrifying to see like a horrible Abathur play. It's something that you want to claw your eyes out after watching it. But if you watch it on the top level, it's a very different story once it's coordinated. And talking about coordination, that's nearly a kill. Hashtag not even close. Blade actually surviving all of this after we initially saw the kill against Muradin. So the blue team walks away with the first blood, but still, this is actually kind of nice. Top side, yeah, hoppity hop. There's a lot of jumping heroes in this game. Muradin can jump out. Urel can also jump around a little bit. And there we go. Bottom of the map. Muradin, by the way, going into the newly changed talent, Dwarf Block. So he has that already in. Ether Walk at level 1 for Li Ming. Not sure if I actually highlighted that already. We're also seeing more of a focus into the pressurized glance at this point. In addition to that, ETC goes for stacking as well. And as usual on this map, it's all about the camps. Getting this camp as quickly as you possibly can every single time that is up is kind of crucial. Quite strong pushes through the top, through the mid lane. Quite heavily, both teams are going for it, and you will actually see that as a trend throughout the entire game, that once the camps are up, and oftentimes even before, just before they start up, they will start to move into the middle to take that again. As it stands now, we got our level 4 talents coming in. And a bit of a fight here in the middle, of course, as the two camps are already starting to collide here. Dominance on Li Ming again as a choice. If you're on the Abathur team, then early on you're a bit at a disadvantage since you don't have the 5th hit point pool in big team fights. If you don't run Zeratul and can sneak up on opponents, then that might be a bit of an issue. Zeratul compositions are oftentimes playing a little bit more aggressive with this, since the melee assassin is just going to roam the map, get some symbiote help, and all of a sudden takes heroes down wherever he appears. At this point, Kira eats a lot of damage there. Yeah, you're not in Wakanda anymore, girl. There's different rules out there. This is the Nexus, baby, so careful. Koro, 50% HP. Down to the bottom of the map, the cow goes up against the slug. Ooh, look at this. Animal husbandry. All right. Rexa. That is some confidence that we actually see there. Yeah, Rexa with the animal husbandry. All right, we're going to monitor that a little bit. Quasar. Look at him. Sitting at 100 additional hit points right now. Well, we'll see how far he can go with that. But that's going to be a bit of a highlight. Let's see if he can actually stay away from the main damage dealers. Yeah, Urel already coming in for the Misha kill, but of course that doesn't really concern Rexa too much. Kira comes in and tries to get the kill connected, but can't. Masquerade is low, but he doesn't die. Kira herself, on the other hand, is in a lot of trouble, and since Koro is just zipping around on Lulcio here, they might get the kill. They do against ETC, and they follow it up with kill number 2 against Kira. Nicely done. 2 heroes down, and all of a sudden the access to the objective, which is usually taken not before level 7. I mean, sometimes we see it even as late as level 10 attacked by the teams. But since they get the double kill, they take the early lead for free. I doubt that they're going to be able to walk away with the entire thing, but that alone is already a huge advantage. So now we have 5 heroes back on the map. But yeah, it's down to 10 seconds right now, and it's getting a bit dicey. They don't have level 7 yet. So the red team can definitely fight for it. Talent advantage? I mean, hell yeah. Alright, Banana H is able to secure it though, but they're still forcing the opponent into a bad fight. Blade! Oh, and he's dead. Blade is down, and they're looking for even more kills right now. Misha is dead. But at this point, we're looking at 260 hit points already for Misha and Rexa. Oh, Lucio speeding out, but damn. Yeah, Lucio was a little bit slow there for just a moment. By the way, on level 7, we're actually looking at this point at Mule again. Hazob's gonna try and mana mule the shit out of them later. Level 7 for both sides now, with Calamity now in action. So of course a bit of a power spike for Rag as well that he could utilize whenever. But the red team is now trying to finish what they started at the first objective and try to take the prisoners here. Moving in for that already. Jumping around with Urel and Mirrodin. Both of them are coming in. Interrupt against Masquerade's jump. Nicely done. But Galnigulnar goes down on ETC. Masquerade also low, and he gets dropped. Oh, the Calamity setups rack. What the fuck? Triple kill. Li Ming resets, baby. There we go. Nicely done. Li Ming popping off in that fight, and a deserved victory for sure. But it was actually really well done by ETC too, because he kept his face melt long enough and waited for Mirrodin to attempt to jump out, and then interrupted the jump with a face melt, which is actually a mechanic that is so important when you're playing ETC and you're trying to play him well, especially against the Mirrodin player. Blade is still trying to be as disruptive as he can, but the objective is not looking good for the red team anymore. They took the early lead here, but still. Okay, interrupt is in, and yes, they actually get it. Gia wanted to use his own skills and abilities here to interrupt the channel, but he couldn't. So now it's 5 kills against 3, but yeah, we are in for a nice one here. I like this. Abatha is sitting at the top to soak a bit more experience. Rexa, by the way, has by now 480 additional hit points. For himself and for Misha's Animal Husbandry currently is still working out, but you need to be careful of level 10. And there it is! Red team secures it, and Quasar goes down! And that's the reset on the Animal Husbandry. Yeah, there's a reason that talent doesn't really get taken any longer. So that's an unfortunate kill right there. Just as he hit about 500, he was eliminated. And now he has to start back up at 0. So Rexa is dead. The cavalry is making it in, or I should say the raiders in this case. And the horde is marching. Up, there we go. Level 10 abilities also at the same time. Sound barrier. No surprises over here. Strafe comes in. We have Mirrodin not going bowling in this game, so no playmaker aspects. Instead, still the avatar. And they're trying to go for Galnigulnar already. Can't quite get him though, but a good zone out from Vala with a strafe. And here comes a level 10 on the other side. Rexa, the party animal that he is, wants to go for the mosh pit again. Kira hasn't made a choice just yet. By the way, typical build for her. Again, maximum effort, upstage, and the thirst. Actually, I mean, if you think about it, we oftentimes have the level 7 talent a bit more adaptive. And yeah, there's a Vala kill. That's actually a really nice slide that they had there. Kira goes down too, though. That's at least a counter kill. Bottom of the map, that's where Abathur, of course, comes into play. When you can help out with a quick symbiote, then any one-on-one turns quickly in your favor. That's the problem with Abathur. He just doesn't respect the one-on-one, that little sucker. And here we go now, with Masquerade at the bottom of the map, being also in a position where he can start to jump back in. ETC was in trouble, but was able to slide out, so there's at least that. Rek'Sai is slowly starting to accumulate hit points again. But it is annoying. If you die once with this, it's always annoying. I mean, you can always argue that it was still kinda early. But yeah, it was a bit of a mid-game setup. Okay, boss gets attacked, and that actually also gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about the build that we see for Nick. Nick is actually deviating away from what we've seen recently a lot more, and that's the arrow build on this map. So on Alterac Pass, arrow build is these days more dominant because you can go for those mercenary camps a lot easier than if you're going for a multi-shot build, and you also are much stronger when it comes to boss control with Monster Hunter as a level 1 talent choice. Nick, in this case, decided to go straight into the multi-shot, not only for teamfight value, but also for wave clear that he has. So they take the first boss here, and they couldn't take their camp at the same time. So that's a small trade-off that they had, but boss is, of course, great for them. The problem is that Lucio is down. Yeah, Lucio, the oversized minion, is eliminated. Blade at the bottom of the map is trying to make it a bit easier for the boss, but if he doesn't get any Abathur support, then he's most likely going to be dead. Hazops is still in the copy, though. Blade! Yeah, there's the ult, and he is safe. Or is he? Yeah, that face melt was a little bit too early. Blade goes down after all. Alright, cooldown. Not quite what I expected. Didn't have it ready. Boss is still taking the wall down as much as he can at the bottom here. Doing a bit more work, more damage. All the way at the top, Muradin with a kill against Misha. But Rek'Sai is fine and is now at another 350 hit points again for himself and for Misha, so that's nice. Damage output, 38,000 for Vala, 33,000 for Li Ming. And it's all about the objective again. Strafe is in, and Banana H is in trouble. Yeah, makes it out, but that was clutch. Ana has the problem still that she doesn't have any kind of escape tool, which is a big problem. 13 versus 13 talents now. And Abathur is still pushing out the bottom lane with a symbiote the entire time. It has actually worked through the wall now and is starting to threaten the keep itself. Slowly but steadily. Just one symbiote at a time. 20 stacks for Muradin, by the way, for his level 1. Which means that he's soon going to be done with the quest and then has the cooldown reduction on the auto attacks, plus also Pierce. It's pretty solid for him. So there's that. Off we go, and that's set up. Double Muradin again, double hop, double stun. Here we go, hoppity hop, little dwarf. Getting the stuns in against Gia. The CC chain is there. Nice on barrier from Lucio, well done. As they're trying to find the kill. Ana is low, Ana's on the run. Ana gets the Storm Ball, but Ana gets away. And they're trying to turn it again. And Li Ming is still being aggressive with Dominance as a level 4 talent choice. If she can get kills, that would be great. Has to teleport out though, so no calamity value in that little fight. Interrupt the tennis. ETC was looking to see if he can get maybe the mosh pit finally through here. Mid lane is attacked and the fort will fall. There's the strafe and Ana goes down. Nick comes in with a kill. They're going straight in for Kira too. That's 2 kills. They're looking for the third. Oh, Li Ming. Oh my god, she gets out. And so does ETC. But the mid fort has fallen. That wave and Abathur helping out with it has already taken this one apart and it's already threatening the wall in itself. Whereas at the same time, the objective is also being channeled for the red team again. So they're looking absolutely fantastic there. At this point, they're looking pretty solid. Masquerade needs to be a bit careful though, because he doesn't really have a lot of hit points left. But they're also looking at boss at the same time. I mean, they're all over the place. Abathur is pushing the lanes, Muradin is securing the objective, and the rest of the team has decided to go for another boss. They're really trying to get the lead here. 8 kills against kills shows that in fights, at least, it's more or less an even battle. But the objective, that's a different story. There's not a single fort that has been eliminated by the blue team. They lost more or less the entire outer ring of defense. They're going to lose the top now in this battle for sure. The question is just simply how much more damage can be done. Attempt to flank in from the side. Unsuccessful for now. Yeah, Urel already with an early ult. The bot lane is a problem, by the way. If Abathur comes in at the bottom of the map with the symbiote, that is going to hurt. I mean, generally speaking, this is going to hurt, and no matter where you look at. I mean, just look at the mid lane. This kind of wall is already disappearing. The problem is that down here, the wave has still to be taken down, but Meridian is already jumping in. The copy at least is up at the top. The boss and the raiders are now making it. That could be a kill. That is a kill. Meridian is down. That one was nicely done. Maybe they can actually stop the bleeding here before there's too much damage. Top keep is the one that is the most in trouble. And honestly, it feels like the top keep is going to fall no matter what they do. And at the bottom of the map, this keep is also taking a beating, but I think Rexa is going to be able to defend it. He, by the way, now has nearly 800 additional hit points for himself and Misha. One keep down. That also means that one armor shield is eliminated from the boss. Bottom of the map has not fallen. Level 16 talents are now ready for the blue team too. So looking good here. Frostshot is the level 16 choice, by the way, for Vala. Meridian went for the dwarf launch. Synergizes well with his level 1, of course. Yeah, but they're taking it easy, at least for now here. Not going in too deep. They did good damage. They took the top keep. They did a lot of work at the bottom keep too. And now they can, in theory, even go for another boss. But I think that might be a bit of an optimistic play. I don't really think they can go for this one. I'm a little bit surprised. That's not really what you're trying to do now, ladies. Meridian completes the Stormbolt quest. That one's important. Blade is already jumping in. It's a little bit of Abathur support, though. Hazu ops. Alright. Blade. Team. Blade. Hello. Hello. I mean, if there was ever a moment, but not his best play. So, yeah. Urel a little bit overeager. I mean, she was always a little bit jumpy. That kill against her was a bit too much. Committing Subaru right there. Meridian is jumping in as well. Mana Mule comes down too. Yeah, they're trying to go for it. But they're only delaying it. I mean, the boss gets leash, but of course the red team is in... I mean, they are in danger. They could lose a hero here. So they're trying to buy time for Urel to come back. They're actually getting there. Here comes our little jump. Abathur, by the way, has taken a really aggressive position up at the top. I don't really think that does too much for the slug, just simply because you won't be able to take the core down if there's still 2 armor shields on the core. Okay, Mosh pit against a single hero. Can they take Vala? Well, they can take Lucio, and Vala is dead too. Guys, it's comeback time. It is absolute comeback time. That's 5 kill lead for the blue team. They're nearly on the same level as the red team now. Abathur has pushed out the top lane, but as I said before, the core regenerates hit points, and with 2 armor upgrades, there's just no fucking way you're going to take this thing down like this. Oh, down here. Meridian is dead too. Yeah, they're YOLOing in one after another. Blade is the only survivor outside of Abathur right now, and I don't know what they're planning to do. I mean, what is the goal here? They're just feeding heroes to the opponent's team to allow them to get farther ahead in experience. And there's not much that they are doing with this. This is a much better move right now. If you keep them occupied at the bottom of the map, of course, Abathur can work his magic on the map. But I'm not sure if it's worth it. Because now Rexa has taken the mid lane defense. We're still seeing this one captured. Boss is at the bottom of the map. Like, it's a little bit insane. It's a bit awkward. But yeah, the GOAT is there. Alrighty, so 19 for both teams. And they are fighting over the objective now, but there is, of course, still a dwarf missing. Meridian isn't here yet. Oh, that was a good setup against Gia, though. Holy hell, careful, bro. That was close. Yeah, objective, on the other hand, 10 seconds, and it's in there. They get it. Meridian is back to business, though. Here comes the big fight, and oh my god, the carnage. Feign death on Rexa. Urel goes down again. Rexa, no! He was at 1,200 extra HP for himself and Misha, and then the Animal Husbandry gets reset again as Meridian comes in and takes him down. Nice move by Rag, but again, Abathur doesn't respect the one-on-one. So Li Ming falls victim to Vala. At least they take the raiders, though. So now they have the cavalry. The cavalry is coming in. There's still an attempted kill against Masquerade, but with the help of Abathar, he is likely going to survive this one. The boss at the bottom of the map has also been defended by the towers here, but he still did a lot of damage to the wall. Both of them are now on level 20 talents. Abathar is already sitting up at the top, has gone straight into the Hive Mind. Farfly Quiver for Vala. Not quite the same value that you would get out of this talent if you went into Manticore, but still it's a safe distance for Nick now, wherever he is. Still trying to defend over here. Mirrodin interrupting the opponent as much as possible. Healing static on 13, now the rewind on 20. That's going to help him a lot, not only with the stun chains that he can execute, but also with the sustain that he might have in these cases. But 20 talents are ready on both sides, which means we have also the unleashed potential. Masquerade jumps out, no interrupt just yet, and they're meeting the opponent in the middle. And they're trying to go for the kills again. Good sleeping dart against Mirrodin, though. Mule comes a bit too late, so that doesn't really do enough. Kill command is in. Mirrodin, the dwarf, and the shield from Lucio keeps him alive. Nice. Good sound barrier from Lucio. That one was fantastic. Okay, top side. Abby still pushing things. He's always pushing the envelope. The Slugger has Hive Mind now, and that in those fights is going to be crazy in and of itself. His damage output is at 63,000. Can't quite compete with Vala, who's sitting at 92 on both, by the way, siege and hero damage. Li Ming then again on 83,000 herself. And there's still 2 damage keeps on the blue team side. Keep that mule in mind too, by the way. So if at any point we're going to see one of the red team keeps attacked, there's a chance that they can just simply mule it up again. But this is a nice one. Over here, Gia. Yeah, Kira, careful. Double stun from Mirrodin again. Those Stormbolt connects now with Piers are insanely frustrating. There's a kill against Misha. Lost, of course, a lot of hit points. Another setup. They're trying to go for the Quasar again. Mirrodin together with Abathar is just such a disruptive force in that backline. I mean, the two of them are just jumping in time and time again and just hammering them around here. So really nice effort. Taking the walls down, obviously denying vision now to the blue team. There's still bosses up on the map, or actually it's one boss. So Blade over here is just trying to push another wave out. And the rest of the team is already moving into boss range. And it looks very much like they're going to grab this one just in time. I mean, it's half the time left. Urel is buying a bit more time here, as Misha is already trying to see what's happening up there. Is the boss taken, yes or no? And look at that, the blue team actually arrives in time. Guys, this teamfight could decide it all. Abathar is killing the keep in the mid lane, by the way, on the red team side. Yeah, has taken the camp and had the symbiote there, but now, of course, has to focus on the fight up at the top. Gets the copy out, and they're making the play. There's the nano boost on Li Ming as she's trying to get the damage, and the blue team steals the boss. They steal the boss away, but can they survive the fight? That's the next question. Hazob's copy is already gone. Blade is on the run. Yeah, that was actually Rack with a pretty nice move here in an attempt to use repulsion to push the target back into the fight. The problem is that the core on the red team side, or the blue team side, is now attacked for real because now 2 of the armor shields are down. That's going to hurt a lot more. Masquerade, again, has the symbiote here. Could go for Gia. They're actually trying to get the kill. And that's a drop against Kira. Nicely done. Well played. And more of these waves make it through. As you can see, that core is not going to make it for long. Abathar's helping out there too. This is not looking pretty. You need to drop this, and you need to drop it fast, which means the objective is absolutely exposed and red team can go for it. It doesn't seem like Abathar's going to be able to take the core down, but that was a pretty big defense that they had to set up there. 6,000 hit points left already. Now those hit points will regenerate, but it gives the head start to the red team as they're going for the next Raider setup. Up to the top, the boss doesn't really make it too far, and that's of course also a big wave that is building up here that will eventually hit the opponent's core. And just look at the bot lane. Abathar is escorting another big wave in. That's another keep that's going down. Abathar's control here, Hazops just playing the macro game, is ruining the blue team. The blue team is getting murdered here, and the teamfight is also not looking great for them, so they're losing on all fronts. The keep at the bot lane is down. That's the last armor shield eliminated from the boss. And that is just trouble. 16 kills against 14. The red team is behind in kills, but they are about to win the game now. No armor shields, no problem. They're going in to drop it. They can even go for the objective if they want it. There's a big wave coming in now as well. Gia goes down, and this is just lights out. I mean, what a glorious game here from the red team. Nicely done. And the Slugger, once again, looking fucking fantastic here. Good kill, full team wipe, and this is game as the red team locks in a victory on Alterac Pass. GG and well played. Hey everybody, thank you very much for watching the video today. I hope that you guys had some fun with the coverage here. If you want to support me and my work, you can do so now for absolutely free, thanks to your continued partnership with Ray throughout the entire month of March. And I would really appreciate if you could just take a couple of minutes, jump down in the YouTube description, check the link out, download the game, and play through the 20-second tutorial that ends with the dragon fight. And if you do that, you support me directly, it would help me a lot, and I would really appreciate if you could take a few minutes to do that and support the channel here. Either way, I hope that you guys had a good day today, and see you guys soon on the channel here with more esports coverage on Khaldor TV. Bye bye.